Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's kick things off with a story that shows how quickly assumptions can spiral out of control. When a former employee of a home improvement store visits as a customer, his knowledge of the layout leads to an unexpected encounter with a demanding Karen. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with a turned on. Here we go. You don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Karen demands help from a former employee. Chaos ensues. I used to be in charge of deliveries at a big box home improvement shop. That is, I took things off the shelves to deliver them, so I knew where most of them were. A year or so after I moved on to better things, my roommate and I happened to be in the same shop. We both came in with different things we needed to get done, so my friend went back to working on the plumbing while I went to work on the tools. I pulled what I needed off the shelf because I knew exactly where to find it. Then I went back to plumbing to help my roommate. When I got there, she was looking around in the aisle for things that were close but not quite her thing. I asked her what she was looking for and then showed her how to find it. As soon as we got it, we turned around and went to the front to pay. As we were leaving, the stereotypical Karen walked out in front of me and said, "I was here first." I just said, "Uh-huh," and tried to step around her because I wasn't very quick on my feet. Karen comes up to me again and tells me she needs a dryer vent tube. I told them they were on the wall in the corner and began to walk away again. Just as my friend and I get to the front of the store, this Karen yells out, "Oh, I see, you'll only help the pretty girls." At this point, she has my attention as well as the attention of several of my old coworkers. I stopped in the middle of my step to look at her. "I don't work here," I told them. "But you helped her," yells Karen. I told them, "We're all here together. Take a look at my vest. Why am I not wearing one like the workers do?" Karen seems to be having a hard time with this because she tells my roommate, "Your looks won't last forever, missy. Help won't help you either in the end." Several store workers and my old boss are now walking quickly towards us. I said hello and gave him my name as the boss walked up. Karen took this because I worked there for sure. She began to yell that she was there first and that she wanted me fired. "I guess I quit again," I told the boss. The boss still doesn't understand what's going on and says, "You quit more than a year ago." Karen finally seemed to understand what was going on. Without telling the manager, my roommate, or me, she went to a real worker and said she needed a dryer vent tube. We were shown to the exit by the boss. My friend laughed and said, "We have to go back. We didn't pay for any of the stuff we got," as we were almost home. Just to be clear, I did go back the next day, talk to the boss, and pay for the things. This is a classic example of Karen can't understand the idea of personal boundaries. This woman is so determined to drag you into her shopping story that it's both amazing and tiring. Think about seeing someone shopping and thinking, "Yeah, they must work here because they know where everything is." The way that makes sense is different. One more funny thing is that your old boss was just as confused as you were. If you want to shut Karen up, all you have to say is, "You quit more than a year ago." I can only imagine the look on her face when she finally realized what was going on. Pure gold. "Why'd you forget to pay?" That's just the universe giving the chaos a funny finish. Not as much as Karen did with her dryer air tube problem, but at least she went back and fixed it. And our second story. When avoiding calls backfires, Sally's long wait to face accountability. Since I work in claims, we're not really a call center because we handle long-term and personal injury claims. However, our claimants call us and we have to be ready to take their calls. I get about 6 to 8 calls a day, but only 4 of them are for me. It's become common for some coworkers to mark themselves as unavailable for long periods of time, 3+ hours a day, to avoid calls. When you call to ask if they're free for a call, they don't answer for at least 5 minutes because you've probably already ended the call for them. I'd already taken a call for a coworker called Sally. 2 calls for the same person in a department with 100 or more coworkers is unusual when I got another call. This time it was from an outside complaints body wanting to ask Sally some questions that were not related to a complaint yet. And at 2:32, I sent Sally a message to see if she was free. While I wait, I ask the nice person who handles external issues about what was going on. She responded at 2:42. Sorry, I was just on the phone. Is everything okay? I told them right away, no, they're still on the call and I can transfer you. Right away, Sally goes back on her word and says, sorry, I'm still on the call. Can you take a message? I can see that Sally's status is set to do not disturb and not on a call, so I know she's just trying to avoid taking calls. I just agreed, and I decided that instead of ending the call, I would take a message and send it on. As asked, I took a message from the nice person in charge of external complaints. Since I couldn't answer the question, I promised that I would quickly bring it to the attention of Sally's manager and our internal complaints team, who were asking about an important payment that hadn't been processed in a week. I told Sally right away who it was, and she would have taken the call if I had said who it was. I thought she was on the phone, so that's strange. Sally thought she could dodge her calls by playing the Do Not Disturb card and feigning busyness, but you played along beautifully. Instead of getting frustrated, you let her trap herself in her own web of excuses. Passing the message to her manager and the internal complaints team was a stroke of genius, both because it gets the issue resolved and ensures Sally can't squirm out of accountability. The fact that she immediately backpedaled when she realized who was calling shows she knew exactly what she was avoiding. It's satisfying knowing she had to deal with the fallout after her little act got exposed. Well done. You turned her dodging tactics into a professional own goal. And our last story. Karen declares war on the beach, ends up in handcuffs. I chose to go to the beach over a long weekend. It was a private beach run by a hotel that I'd been going to since I was a kid. I knew the staff, the lifeguards, and even the cashier at the snack shack. It felt like home. Of course, I came home from the beach with the usual souvenir, a bad sunburn. I went with some family friends, and we got one of the last lounge chairs that was still open. I came back to our spot feeling nicely worn out after a refreshing swim. I waved at the checker, a woman who's known me since I was a diaper. I moved my chair closer to the lifeguard shack to get some shade. I laid down, put a towel over my head, and got ready for a wonderful nap. It was 10 minutes long. Enter Karen. I was yanked from my peaceful slumber by a voice shrill enough to rival a seagull in distress. I slowly woke up and looked around the scene. Yeah, there she was, right next to the cashier shack. It was your typical Karen, complete with sun hat, huge sunglasses, and an air of entitlement so thick you could choke on it. The checker heard her yelling, "What do you mean there are no more cabanas? That's not okay. You'll feel bad about this because I know the owner." "Ma'am, the cabanas are first come, first served," the cashier, who looked like she wanted to crawl under the counter, said in a cool voice. "I'm not able to hold one for you." Karen stomped her foot like a child having a temper tantrum. "Do you have any idea who I am? I'm going to fire you." Every time she spoke, she turned up the noise, and I could see people on the beach moving around in pain. There were security guards back at the hotel, and they had already begun their long walk down the sandy road. They were still at least 5 minutes away, and Karen didn't seem to be slowing down. I took off my towel and walked over to the shack because I was done. "Hey, could you calm down? Anyone can come here with their family and have a good time." Karen turned her back on me like a wild animal. Finally, a boss. "Tell this ill-equipped cashier to clean up this mess." I looked around, confused. "I'm not a boss. Do I look like I work here?" She points to her bright yellow swimming suit. Karen asked, "Then why are you talking to me at all? Now get the manager." "I need to talk to you because you're making a scene," I said. "The checker already told us what the rules were. Slow down and enjoy your day." Karen, "Slow down? I'll calm down after both of you are fired. You're probably just a loser who works for minimum wage." The checker and I looked at each other, half in shock and half asking, "Is she real?" The cashier said, "Ma'am, I don't think you know anyone in charge here." Karen pulled out her phone like it was a magic wand. "Yes, I do. I'm calling them right now." Then she made the most fake phone call I had ever seen. "Karen, hello, my name is Karen. The people who work for you are completely useless while I'm at the beach. Even more so this cashier. She's a jerk." "Good job," said the cashier. "You just called the niece of the CEO a bleep. Good job." Karen stopped moving, her phone still pressed to her ear. She looked shocked and scared at the same time. The guard showed up at that moment. A nice guy named Mike waved at me. "Hey, OP," said the guard. "Is she giving you trouble?" I said, "Oh, she was about to leave." "Right?" Cashier, "Yes, leaving now." Karen, of course, did it again. "I'm not leaving. I won't leave. This is my beach." Mike let out a sigh and looked at his buddy. "Ma'am, we'd like you to please leave. We'll have to call the cops if you don't do it." Karen laughed. "Get in touch with them. I'll also fire them." That was a mistake. Mike didn't even blink as he called for help over the radio. The cops showed up in 10 minutes and things quickly got worse. Karen yelled at the police about her rights and tried to push one of them when they told her to calm down. That was all it took. Their hands were on her while she screamed that she was being assaulted on the beach. Karen was kicked off the beach while swearing at everyone who could see her, so I turned to the checker. "Well, that got worse quickly," I said. The cashier laughed. "I'm glad she's gone. You want a free soda?" "If she comes back, we'll let you handle her again, OP," Mike said. Laughed. "Only if I get paid for risk." I finally took a nap when I went back to my shady spot and put the towel over my head. This story has a day at the beach, Karen going crazy, and just the right amount of bad luck. You should get an award for your patience, because I would have lost it as soon as she tried to pull that fake phone call trick. "Hi, CEO? Yes, fire everyone." Classy. The real-life twist is what made Karen's meltdown so satisfying. It's the kind of thing you'd see in a badly written show. The cashier's casual revelation that Karen was the niece of the CEO made me feel bad for her. Karen's worst trait is having the nerve to do something without knowing how to do it. Thanks for how well Mike and the security team handled this. Karmic justice makes these kinds of things bearable. Seeing her go from "I own this beach" to "I'll fire the police" in record time. As an added bonus, you get extra points for responding calmly and making the situation funny. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.